It'd honestly be hard for us to make a video like this and not mention the current climate of the world. Things have definitely been better, but that hasn't really put a stop to the current stream of games releasing on the Nintendo Switch. We are starting to get to the point where we don't really know what Nintendo all has in store for the rest of the year. But that's not really the worst thing either, as it gives us a little more time to play some of the games that we have on our backlog, and it also lets us be a little more excited for the games that are right around the corner. Even if we all are a little bloodthirsty for news on Metroid Prime 4, Breath of the Wild 2, and anything else that they have cooking in the kitchen. I'm Xeon from Nintendo Life, and today we're going to be taking a look at a dozen games releasing on the Nintendo Switch in the month of July that we think are pretty exciting. Kicking off our list on the 7th of July is an extremely strange puzzler, Catherine Full Body. This is a remake of the 2011 title Catherine, a game set in the world of Shin Megami Tensei, much like Persona. However, its gameplay and story are much different. You play as a lad named Vincent Brooks, who's currently struggling in his relationship with his girlfriend Catherine, and in the midst of this, he meets another girl, also by the name of Catherine, but with a C, whereas his girlfriend spells her name with a K. There's also another girl that joins the drama in this new full-body version of the game, and she's sure to keep things a bit more interesting. Every night, Vincent has these insane dreams where he has to climb a tower of blocks decorated with sheep, and he has to do it in just his underwear. This is where most of the gameplay takes place. You have to push and pull these blocks without falling before time runs out. There's crazy bosses, and it really pushes you to think. This is also a fairly mature title, so you want to make sure to keep it away from the kiddos, but if you're up for something a little different and are a fan of the SMT universe, it's a must-play in my opinion. Maybe we'll finally hear something about Shin Megami Tensei 5 after this launches as well. Also revealing itself on the 7th is another unique puzzler, Superliminal. This first-person puzzler is looking to capture the absolute insanity of a game like Portal. Your perspective determines everything, and you use it to overcome gaps, enlarge objects, unlock doors, and overall shape the world around you. As I have yet to play this game, I can't speak for my experiences, but from what I've seen in the trailers, if you're a fan of experimental puzzlers, you shouldn't forget this one. The environments remind me of the charm you find in a Wes Anderson or Stanley Kubrick film, and the more I see of this game, the more I want to get my hands on it. The 7th is looking to be a great day for puzzle fans. Crossing over onto the Switch on the 9th is a retro-inspired sci-fi adventure by the name of CrossCode. This action RPG has been in development since 2012 and released a few years back on PC to overall favorable reviews. Its gameplay hovers more on the side of Zelda, with battles taking place in real time while featuring a large open world to explore full of puzzles and characters to meet. The game claims to boast anywhere from 30 to 70 hours worth of gameplay, depending on how much you care to delve into the side quests and extra content. Another thing you can take away from its trailers is that it's absolutely gorgeous. Its art style reminds me a lot of Chrono Trigger, but with more modern lighting effects, reflections, and overall more detail. If you're looking for a massive RPG to sink your teeth into, this one looks like a worthy contender. Dropping on the 10th is the sequel to the Bloodstained spin-off series, Bloodstained: Curse of the Moon 2. This 2D action game carries over the original Castlevania vibes from the original and is being helmed by the Retro Masters Inti Creates, developers of the Mega Man Zero, Blaster Master Zero, and Azure Striker Gunvolt series. In this adventure, you're given the ability to play as 4 characters from the original, along with 3 new characters as well, one of which being a corgi who pilots a giant mech suit. I'm sad you never actually get to see the physical corgi when you're playing as him, but still, a corgi in a mech suit. Each of the characters have their own unique weapons and play styles, and a new co-op mode is being added to the game so you can work together with a friend to take down this terribly cursed knight. A little birdie told me that our game is getting a sequel on Switch. Can you believe it, Zach? Also arriving on the 10th is the unexpected sequel to the cult classic mystery thrill ride, Deadly Premonition 2: A Blessing in Disguise. The original is well known for its strange setting and wacky characters, even with its fairly antiquated gameplay. Some people downright love the original, even with all of its quirks. Deadly Premonition 2 is claiming to be both a prequel and a sequel. The future bits follow the story of Agent Davis and her investigation into the grisly murders that took place in New Orleans years prior, while the prequel elements follow everyone's favorite FBI agent, York, and his buddy Zach. You can't forget Zach! The original Deadly Premonition definitely requires a certain, how do I put it, appetite? So before diving into this new game, it's definitely worth checking out the original, which is available on the eShop in the form of Deadly Premonition Origins. While we can't guarantee it will be everyone's cup of joe, it seems like the sequel will be full of the same wacky antics and strange side quests that you've come to expect. Another noteworthy title launching on the 10th is a game called The Great Perhaps, an adventure platformer where you play as an astronaut who's returning to Earth to find everyone has been wiped out. Armed with an ancient artifact that allows you to see into the past, you've taken it upon yourself to find out exactly what happened to the people on Earth and prevent things from getting worse. Can it really get worse than that though? Because as the game describes it, natural cataclysms sounds pretty bad to me. Can the world really come back from that? I guess we'll just have to wait and see how things go in The Great Perhaps. A game that I thought would never ever get a remake is a childhood favorite of mine, Harvest Moon: Friends of Mineral Town. But on July 14th, the Nintendo Switch is getting just that. Now going by the new name for the series, Story of Seasons: Friends of Mineral Town is a from-the-ground-up remake of the beloved GBA Harvest Moon title. This adventure farming sim borrowed many elements from the games that came before it, like Harvest Moon 64 and Back to Nature. You're tasked with tending to your farm, livestock, and keeping the town happy, and finding yourself someone to settle down with. To me, this right here is the definition of classic Harvest Moon, and alongside Animal Crossing on the GameCube, I sunk so many hours into this game way back in the day. So I'm glad to see the developers returning to their roots with this new game. If you're a fan of the Harvest Moon series, Stardew Valley, or anything really in between, it'd be wise to keep your sights on this one. And then literally unfolding onto the Switch on the 17th is a brand new story in the world of Paper Mario with Paper Mario: The Origami King. The ruler of the Origami Kingdom has taken control of Peach's castle and is attempting to turn the rest of the world into origami, which one might think sounds kind of cool, until you see how twisted Princess Peach has become after being converted. The plot seems to be pretty dark this time around, but the comedic side of the series still seems to be fully intact. The series also seems to try and reinvent its battle system every time a new entry comes along. And this time they're holding on to the RPG aspects, but with a twist. Enemies are placed on a set of rings that you can spin around in battle, which allows you to line up enemies so that way you can attack them in rows to maximize your efforts. I'm sure some fans of the series will be miffed about this gameplay, but I've honestly never seen anything like it, and it very well could be one of those don't knock it till you try it scenarios. Regardless, the game looks absolutely breathtaking and is boasting an expansive world to explore. It feels like just yesterday that this new Paper Mario was announced for Switch, and it's gonna be here before we know it. Launching on the 23rd is a brand new Smash Bros. Inspired title called Bounty Battle. This 2D fighter boasts 30 characters from over 20 different indie games, including SteamWorld Dig, Dead Cells, Owlboy, Axiom Verge, and many more. Up to 4 players can duke it out on a number of different stages themed around the characters that accompany them. Each characters have their own moveset, different color swaps, and a minion they can summon to help fight in battle. If you've played Smash, which honestly, who hasn't at this point, you sort of know what to expect from here. But that's definitely not a bad thing. If you're eagerly awaiting the next character from the Fighter's Pass and want a game to change it up a bit, this could do the trick. Then coming to the Switch on the 23rd is the first true-to-life skate simulator, Skater XL. This brand new game is hoping to capture some of the essence of the Skate series, but molded in a way that's fair to the fans of the genre. Easy Day Studios is looking to revolutionize skating in video games by giving the player complete control of their feet and of the board to make nailing tricks more customizable, but also more authentic. The game features over 50 skate spots, professional skaters, real brands, customizable skaters, and even your very own level editor. One of the more recent trailers I checked out actually shows off an area in the game that you can skate, which is actually downtown LA, right next to the Staples Center and the LA Convention Center. And if you're unaware, the LA Convention Center is where E3 is held. So I'm curious, are we actually going to be able to skate out in front of the grounds of E3? Please, since we couldn't go to E3 this year, that would be so amazing. Puzzle fans should be pretty pleased this month, as they have plenty of options to choose from, including a new title coming to Switch on the 30th called Locomotion. You take control of a cute little train and must guide it to the end of the track while collecting all the gold that's littered around each of the 50+ colorful levels. The level design and concept sort of reminds me of Captain Toad's Treasure Tracker, especially the minecart levels. It seems like a fairly simple puzzler early on, but some of the levels later on look like they get pretty wild. If you like what you see, then you've got something to look forward to on July 30th. Finishing up our list on the final day of July, the 31st, is the video game adaptation of the long-running anime manga series Fairy Tail. This is surprisingly the first time the West will be receiving a Fairy Tail game, and even though this is being published by Koei Tecmo, surprisingly it isn't another Warriors Musou game. Fairy Tail takes the form of a traditional turn-based RPG, similar to Dragon Quest XI and classic Final Fantasy titles, and is being developed by Gust, the developers of the Allier series. You'll be able to customize your party of 3 from a cast of 16 characters from the series. Not much else is known about the game as of yet, but the animation looks to be brimming with quality. So if you're a fan of the Fairy Tail series or just of JRPGs in general, you'll want to keep your eyes on this one. And there you have it, a dozen games releasing on the Nintendo Switch in the month of July. Feel free to let us know in the comments down below if any of these games pique your fancy, and let us know if there's something you've had your eyes on that we should have included on this list. I'm really excited to start playing Story of Seasons Friends of Mineral Town. Like I said before, I grew up with that game, and being able to have a remade version for the modern day is super special to me. I've also had Catherine Full Body on PS4 since it launched and just haven't gotten around to playing it, but maybe having it on Switch will actually make me motivated to play it. And I still have yet to ever play Deadly Premonition. I guess I played it for like a half an hour one time, but I really want to play through the original before Deadly Premonition 2, and I'm so glad that this weird game is actually getting a sequel, because I know a lot of people love it. There's too many games, just way too many games. We don't have enough time for this. And as always, if you enjoyed this video and you want to see more content like this, then why don't you go ahead and tell your buddy Zach to click that subscribe button for you, and then ring that notification bell to be notified whenever we release new videos. Thank you all so much for watching. I'm Zian for Nintendo Life. Stay safe out there, and we will see you next time.